Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Buckle up, because today we're blasting off on a cosmic trip through 3 incredible stories. So, grab your spacesuits because we're about to explore the unknown, encounter the unexpected, and maybe even shed a tear or two. Hopefully not from lack of oxygen. Remember, if you love these tales as much as we do, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more adventures every week. Now sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. First up, we're going to flip the script and see the infamous Roswell incident from the perspective of the aliens themselves. Ever wondered what went wrong on their little sightseeing trip to New Mexico?
The Zardonian ship, sleek and bioluminescent, sputtered and died high above the desolate plains of New Mexico. Grox, the wizened pilot, wrestled with the controls, his 4 antennae twitching in frustration. "Atmospheric interference," he rasped, his voice a series of clicks and whistles translated by their universal communicator. "We're going down, brace yourselves." The impact was brutal. Metal shrieked, lights flickered and died. When Grox regained consciousness, the once vibrant ship lay mangled on the dusty ground, a stark contrast to the endless blue sky. Fear, a prickling sensation at the base of his 4 spindly legs, gripped him. They were stranded on a primitive, uncharted world. Emerging from the wreckage, Grox, along with his crewmates, Zaria the telepath and Blocks the engineer, were met by a sight that sent chills down their exoskeletons. Men clad in khaki surrounded them, their faces a mix of awe and suspicion. They were captured, prodded, and poked, their advanced technology confiscated as alien trinkets. Days turned into weeks. Grox, ever the strategist, observed. He learned their rudimentary language through Zaria's telepathy. He understood their fear, their fascination. He formulated a plan. One scorching afternoon, during a routine examination, Zaria focused her telepathic energy. Images flooded the minds of the soldiers, images of their families, of their homes, a silent plea for understanding. It worked. A young soldier, his name was William, felt a connection, a shared fear. He became their reluctant ally. William, under the cover of night, snuck them parts they needed to repair their communicator. Blocks, a genius with contraptions, cobbled together a makeshift signal from scavenged radio parts. Under the cloak of a fierce dust storm, they transmitted a desperate plea. The response came as a streak of light across the night sky. A rescue ship, sleek and unfamiliar, materialized above them. A wave of relief washed over Grox. William, tears in his eyes, offered a silent goodbye. As they lifted off, leaving behind the swirling red dust, Grox looked down at the tiny blue planet. It had been a prison, but also a place of unexpected kindness. He vowed to one day bridge the gap between their worlds, to ensure this encounter wouldn't be their last. The Roswell incident, a blip in human history, became a legend for the Zardonians, a reminder of fear, courage, and the enduring hope of interstellar connection.
Next, we'll be setting our sights on the moon landing, but with a twist. What if that giant leap for mankind wasn't quite so lonely? Prepare for a close encounter of the most unexpected kind.
The world held its breath as the grainy black and white image flickered on televisions across the globe. Millions watched, hearts pounding, as Neil Armstrong took his giant leap for mankind. But what they saw next wasn't mankind's first footprint. It was something far more profound. As Armstrong lowered the lunar module's ladder, a glint of metal caught the harsh sunlight. It wasn't a rock, nor any geological formation known to man. It was a smooth, circular dome, half embedded in the lunar surface. Panic surged through mission control, a cold dread replacing the elation. Were they not alone? Armstrong, ever the professional, relayed the discovery back to Earth. The silence that followed was deafening. Protocols for extraterrestrial contact, long relegated to science fiction, were hurriedly dusted off. Meanwhile, Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin cautiously approached the dome. It was silent, reflecting their images in its metallic sheen. Suddenly, the dome hissed, and a section slid open. Two figures emerged, bathed in an ethereal blue light. They were slender, bipedal, but unlike anything humanity had ever imagined. Their bodies were encased in a shimmering, translucent membrane, and their large black eyes seemed to pierce the astronauts' souls. Communication was a hurdle. Gestures, simple drawings in the lunar dust, a maddening game of charades. Slowly, a rudimentary understanding emerged. The beings, calling themselves the Selenites, had inhabited the moon for millennia, existing underground, sustained by a network of geothermal vents. News of the discovery was kept under wraps. The world, still basking in the triumph of the landing, wasn't ready. Behind closed doors, a new space race began. Not a race to the moon, but a race to understand these lunar dwellers, their technology, their purpose. The Selenites, for their part, were wary. They had observed humanity from afar, witnessing our wars and pollution. They weren't sure if humans were ready for interstellar contact. But a bond formed between Armstrong and a Selenite scientist, designated Anya through their telepathic communication. Years passed. Humanity learned from the Selenites about harnessing geothermal energy, about the importance of ecological balance. A joint lunar base was established, a testament to fragile interspecies cooperation. Anya, fluent in English now, became an ambassador, bridging the gap between two worlds. The truth about the moon landing was finally revealed, decades later. The world, now grappling with climate change and resource scarcity, was ready. The discovery of the Selenites became a turning point, a chance to learn from another civilization and forge a future not just for Earth, but for a potential galactic alliance. The moon, once a barren rock, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the possibility of coexistence, a giant leap not just for mankind, but for all intelligent life in the universe.
Finally, we'll be joining a lone pioneer on Mars facing a life-or-death situation. When her air supply goes haywire, her courage and ingenuity will be put to the ultimate test.
The Martian sunrise, a bruised purple bleeding into ochre, mocked Maya with its indifference. Another day on Ares Base 1, another day the air grew a little thinner, the recycled oxygen a little staler. The hiss that used to be a background hum in the life support system had become a banshee's wail, a constant reminder of their predicament. She was alone, the first colonist, and now, potentially, the last. The comm screen displayed a static graveyard. The last message, a distorted echo from Earth, crackled with news of a solar flare, crippling the supply ship and delaying rescue by months, maybe years. Despair clawed at her, but Maya wasn't one to give in. She was an engineer, a pioneer, and her survival instinct roared. Her days became a frantic ballet of repairs and resource management. She cannibalized non-essential systems, rerouting power to keep the oxygen scrubbers functioning. Hydroponic gardens, once a source of pride, became her sole food source, meticulously nurtured under stingy LED lights. Sleep was a luxury she could barely afford, every stolen moment haunted by the rising CO2 levels. One day, a breakthrough. Buried deep in forgotten manuals, she found a reference to an experimental emergency filtration system designed for abandoned outposts. It was a long shot, requiring scavenged parts and a prayer, but it was hope. The Martian regolith, the dusty red soil, held the key. Using the habitat's rudimentary 3D printer, she painstakingly crafted filters from Martian rock, a desperate gamble against the dying air. Weeks bled into months. The thin air rasped in her lungs, a constant reminder of the failing system, but the CO2 levels stabilized. Her once vibrant hair had thinned to a dusty red, mirroring the Martian landscape outside. Yet, a flicker remained in her eyes, the fire of a survivor. One morning, a flicker on the comm screen, a single, hesitant message from Earth. The supply ship, miraculously repaired, was en route. Tears blurred the red dust clinging to her eyelashes. She had stared death down and emerged, a testament to human ingenuity. As the rescue ship landed, casting a long shadow across the desolate landscape, Maya knew this wasn't the end. It was a beginning. They would rebuild, learn from their mistakes, and one day, Mars wouldn't just be a hostile environment, it would be home. And Maya, the lone survivor, would be its guardian, forever marked by the red dust and the unwavering will to live.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for joining us. Remember to come back next time for more interesting and fun short stories.